Imagine waking up one morning and realizing the world's largest country, a nation that spans 11 time zones, holds thousands of nuclear weapons, and sits between Europe and the Pacific, no longer exists. The Russian Federation has collapsed. What comes next? Would chaos reign across the world's largest landmass, or would new nations rise from its ashes? In this video, we explore 12 potential states that could emerge if Russia disintegrates, each with its own history, culture, and ambitions. Modern Russia is the largest country on Earth, stretching across 11 time zones, from Eastern Europe to the Pacific Ocean. It is not a homogeneous state, but a patchwork of many federal subjects, including republics, oblasts, krais, and autonomous regions. Many of these entities are defined by ethnicity and language. The republics such as Tatarstan, Chechnya, Dagestan, Buryatia, Sakha, and Tuva were given special status to recognize their unique cultural identities. The first and most obvious successor would be the Russian heartland, centered around Moscow, St. Petersburg, and the Volga Basin. This would be the core remnant of the old empire, similar to what Russia became after the fall of the Soviet Union. It would retain the country's main population centers, military infrastructure, and likely most of the nuclear arsenal. However, cut off from Siberian resources and southern oil fields, it would face economic isolation. Its identity would shift from a Eurasian superpower to a struggling continental nation trying to survive its own imperial collapse. Vast, rich, and ambitious, the Siberian Republic would likely be the largest successor state. Centered around Novosibirsk, Krasnoyarsk, and Irkutsk, it would control much of Russia's oil, gas, and timber wealth. For decades, Siberians have complained that Moscow takes their resources and gives little in return. Its potential capital is Novosibirsk. Its motto would be, "From the Urals to the Pacific, a new beginning." If central authority breaks down, local elites could unite under a Siberia for Siberians banner. The new republic might even align economically with China, Japan, Mongolia, and Korea, turning eastward instead of westward. Stretching from Vladivostok to Khabarovsk, a new state would emerge as the Pacific gateway of post-Russian Asia. Interestingly, this is not a new idea. The Far Eastern Republic actually existed between 1920 and 1922 as a buffer state during the Russian Civil War. Reborn in modern times, it would likely become a resource-rich state dependent on Chinese trade and investment. It could even function as a semi-independent protectorate under Beijing's influence, using the yuan, trading through Chinese ports, and relying on Chinese infrastructure. Vladivostok might once again become an open international port. In the heart of the Volga region lies Tatarstan, one of the most powerful and self-confident republics in Russia. Its capital, Kazan, blends Islamic and Russian cultures and was once the capital of the Kazan Khanate, conquered by Ivan the Terrible in 1552. Tatarstan already has its own constitution, president, and strong sense of identity. If Moscow collapses, Tatarstan would quickly reassert full independence. It could become a Turkic Muslim state with deep ties to Turkey, Azerbaijan, and the broader Turkic world. With a skilled population and a developed industrial base, it could stand among the most successful of the post-Russian states. Just east of Tatarstan lies Bashkortostan, another Turkic Muslim republic with a strong regional identity. Its people are the Bashkirs. They have long balanced between Moscow's influence and their cultural ties to the Turkic world. An independent Bashkortostan would likely follow Tatarstan's lead, possibly forming a Volga-Turkic union for economic and security cooperation. Its capital, Ufa, could become a symbol of regional pride and independence, a spiritual link between Europe and Central Asia. The most volatile region would undoubtedly be the North Caucasus, home to republics like Chechnya, Dagestan, Ingushetia, and Kabardino-Balkaria. If the Kremlin's grip breaks, this region could erupt once again, not as one state, but as a confederation of small republics seeking security through unity. Chechnya's leader, Ramzan Kadyrov, might declare a Caucasian Islamic confederation, blending nationalist and religious elements. However, internal divisions and rivalries could quickly turn it into a complex patchwork. Still, as a geopolitical entity, the North Caucasian Confederation could become the new crossroads between Turkey, Iran, and Central Asia. Covering an area larger than India, Yakutia is one of the richest regions on the planet in terms of natural resources. It holds vast diamond mines, gold, and energy reserves. Its population is ethnically distinct, speaking the Turkic Saka language and practicing native spiritual traditions mixed with orthodoxy. An independent Republic of Yakutia would likely emerge as an Arctic powerhouse, exporting minerals to East Asia. It could even lead in renewable energy and Arctic logistics, positioning itself as the Canada of Eurasia. Its capital, Yakutsk, would transform from a remote Siberian town into a strategic Arctic capital. The industrial and mountainous region, home to Yekaterinburg and Chelyabinsk, could become another major successor state. It already has a strong economic identity and is rich in minerals and heavy industry. In 1993, local leaders even proposed the Ural Republic, seeking more autonomy from Moscow. If Russia collapses, the idea would resurface. With its factories, educated workforce, and central position between Europe and Asia, the Ural Republic could become a technological and manufacturing hub, linking trade between East and West. To the south of Lake Baikal lies Buryatia, a region influenced by Mongolian and Buddhist culture. Its people share ethnic and religious ties with Mongolia, and its capital, Ulan-Ude, already has a strong cultural identity distinct from the Russian core. An independent Republic of Buryatia might align with Mongolia and China, forming a Buddhist corridor in northern Asia. It could serve as a cultural bridge between the post-Russian world and Inner Asia. Separated from mainland Russia and surrounded by the European Union, Kaliningrad is already a world apart. If Moscow's control disappears, the enclave could quickly turn into the Kaliningrad Republic. It might seek EU or NATO protection, effectively becoming a Baltic microstate similar to Estonia or Latvia. Its identity could shift rapidly toward Europe, embracing Western institutions in exchange for security guarantees. Kaliningrad could transform from a Russian military base into a European trading port and cultural hub. Bordering Finland, Karelia has deep cultural and linguistic ties with the Finns. If the Russian state disintegrates, Karelia might declare independence or even seek unification with Finland. Its capital, Petrozavodsk, could become a bridge between the Nordic world and the new eastern frontier. Given Finland's stability and cultural influence, Karelia could easily transition into a European-style democracy, a peaceful successor in contrast to the chaos further south. In the mountains near Mongolia lies Tuva, one of Russia's most remote and culturally distinct regions. Its people practice Tibetan Buddhism mixed with ancient shamanic traditions. Tuva was actually independent between 1921 and 1944 before joining the Soviet Union. If Russia falls apart, the Tuva Republic could return, likely aligning with Mongolia or China for economic survival. Its independence would symbolize the final unraveling of Moscow's grip over Inner Asia. While the image of a fractured Russia captures global imagination, the country's collapse is far from certain. The Kremlin still maintains immense control over its regions through security services, propaganda, and the concentration of wealth. However, history teaches that multi-ethnic empires don't last forever. They crack along cultural and economic fault lines. Yes, if Russia collapses, it won't just be a political event but a civilizational shift. 12 new nations could rise, each reflecting a different face of Russia's enormous diversity: European, Turkic, Islamic, Buddhist, and Arctic. Some would thrive, others would struggle, and all would redefine what it means to live in the shadow of an empire. In the end, the fall of Russia wouldn't just change borders, it would change the very idea of power in Eurasia.